September 2025. The unthinkable just happened. Grow a Garden, the game that hit 22 million concurrent players and literally broke world records, is now dying. Today I'm going to tell you exactly what went wrong with Grow a Garden and how Steal a Brainrot became the new king of Roblox. Let's rewind to when Grow a Garden was absolutely unstoppable. Creator Jandelle had built something revolutionary for Roblox live events that happened weekly. First one to introduce live concerts. People started joining to see live events, giving players the chance to get seeds, eggs, and gears, which had very low drop rates. Jandelle would communicate with the community through admin commands during these events. After each event, players would dive into brand new updates, and the community was thriving. Adults, kids, everyone was playing together. The game hit 22 million concurrent players during a summer update, breaking world records and actually surpassing Fortnite in popularity. News outlets covered it. It wasn't just a game anymore, it was a cultural phenomenon. Everyone was talking about it. Reddit was filled with Grow a Garden communities. Trading started happening. People even started selling pets for real money. Grow a Garden had reached its peak, and everyone thought this was just the beginning of something even bigger. But they were wrong. Right after hitting that 22 million player milestone, things started falling apart. The live events that once brought massive excitement became boring and repetitive. Worse, Jandelle, the creative genius behind the game, went missing. Players noticed he wasn't showing up anymore, and the only person left running things was DJ J Lot, his cousin, and a smaller developer who couldn't carry the weight alone. The game became an idle nightmare. Players were forced to wait hours for plants to grow, eggs to hatch, and items to craft. People got bored of the repetitive cycle: planting, waiting, collecting, and repeating. Players abandoned plant farming and shifted entirely to pet trading, which made the in-game currency, shekels, completely worthless. During the cooking update, some food items took an entire hour to make, and the reward? Just 5 watering cans. Then came the fairy update, which required players to collect too many fairies in just 1 week to get a single reward. It was nearly impossible, and players started complaining that the game had become too hard and too boring. And one by one, they started leaving Grow a Garden behind, searching for something better. That's when Steal a Brainrot saw its opportunity. But before we get into that, drop a comment. Are you Team Grow a Garden or Team Steal a Brainrot? Let me know. Steal a Brainrot wasn't always successful. In fact, when it first launched, the owner, Sammy Spider, was called a thief because the game blatantly copied features from other character collection games. But instead of giving up, Sammy did something brilliant. He turned all that hate into fuel. He listened to the criticism, built a strong team, and started creating updates that weren't just copies. They were improvements. First, he added a crafting system where players could combine random brainrots to create unique combinations. Then came the live events, but not the boring kind Grow a Garden was putting out. When Sammy's events started, he would walk out in the game, snap his fingers, and the entire world would transform. Multiple weather events happening at the same time, UFOs pulling brainrots into mutation machines, flashing lights with epilepsy warnings. It wasn't just interactive, it was a full experience. Players were no longer standing around waiting. They were constantly busy, checking for new brainrots, locking their bases to protect against thieves, and teaming up with friends to raid other players' bases in what felt like heist missions. The gameplay was active, competitive, and addictive. He introduced special patterns you could create to unlock rare rewards, and unlike Grow a Garden, these actually worked. By October 2025, Steal a Brainrot reached 25.4 million concurrent players, officially breaking Grow a Garden's record and becoming the #1 game on Roblox. Here's where it gets even more interesting. After months, the roles completely reversed. Jandelle started copying Sammy. Grow a Garden suddenly introduced multiple weather events happening at once, a feature Steal a Brainrot had perfected. Then they added Orson, a coin shop owner who offered an ascension system, which was basically the rebirth mechanic that Steal a Brainrot had been using for months. The fall update that Jandelle announced looked like just another recycled version of the Summer Harvest event. New pets like a swan, a red squirrel, and a chipmunk didn't excite anyone. It felt lazy, it felt rushed, and most importantly, it felt like Jandelle had given up. It comes down to one simple truth: breaking records doesn't build empires. Consistency, innovation, and keeping your promises does. Right now, one thing is certain: Steal a Brainrot is the #1 game on Roblox. and it earned that spot by doing what Grow a Garden failed to do, listening to its players and never stopping the innovation.